friends. I just filmed this video, but I realized I forgot to hold up most of the books that I talked about, which I think is annoying when I watch videos. Like, I really like to see the books. Like, it's not a big deal, but I just prefer it. So anyways, I have my timer set so I know when to stop talking because my camera decides to stop recording at 10 minutes. I don't know why, I don't know how to change it, but here we are. It's a good challenge because I tend to ramble and I love talking, so this might be cool to like keep my videos concise because I'm not editing them, so I don't want to. Anyways, basically I don't have a lot of these books that I'm going to talk about because I moved to move into to go to university, so I can only pack like a fraction of my books, so I didn't bring all of them. But anyways, I've already used up almost a minute. Anyway, basically this is the classics book tag. So first question is an overhyped classic that you didn't like. First thing that comes to my mind has been Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. I tried reading this for a really long time and I put it down, I think like in grade 12, about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago I guess now, and yeah, so basically I found this book like incredibly mind-numbingly just boring. I felt like nothing was happening, the story just was not progressing. I also remember feeling a very confusing feeling of the story being repetitive and just like it was just maddening. Like the same thing just kept happening over and over again and I just didn't understand why or how. I couldn't like, it was maddening. It was so boring. The next one is something that I've had a lot of trouble with accepting. That's The Great Gatsby. I've read it 3 times. First time, I was shocked by how disappointed I was in it. I really, really wanted to like it. It seemed right up my alley. It seemed exactly like what I would like. And it just didn't work, so I reread it to try again, and I reread it to try again, and I like it a little bit more now since the first time I read it, but I just despised every single character. Like, Nick was the only one I could stand, and all the other ones sucked, absolutely sucked. They were all horrible characters. And I think that might be why, I don't know, I can't put my finger on it. Anyway, next question is favorite time period to read about. And I love reading about the past. I love the way things used to look. I love the way people used to talk. And so the time period that comes to my mind first is Victorian. I'm going to start holding up a couple books. I've loved Dracula, The Picture of Dorian Gray, Frankenstein, and many more. Another one would have to be The String of Pearls or Sweeney Todd, A Demon Barber at Fleet Street. Just so many books, like Jules Verne, just like so many of them. Actually, Jules Verne might be before Victorian. I'm gonna look into that. It probably is actually. I'm not sure. I'm gonna look into that. But yeah, so I just love that time to read about. Not necessarily live in. I'm gonna be honest, it probably would have sucked, but to read about, it's stunning, and I just love it. I also, the 20s kind of, I want to say, but I think that's more like to watch stuff from the 20s. I'm not sure if you have any recommendations for books in the 20s, because the 20s is obviously, I'm really drawn to it for some reason. If you have read books that are set in the 20s that are not The Great Gatsby that you think I would like, I would love to hear, because I really want to like it. Number 3, because I'm about halfway done now, is favorite fairy tale, and this is something I was really disappointed to not have an answer for. The only one, because, okay, I don't think that like the Disney versions of fairy tales like count, because those aren't like classics, like they're the Disney version of the classic. So the only one I think I've even read is The Brothers Grimm Cinderella, which I did like, but since it's the only one, like I can't really say it's my favorite because I don't have anything to compare it to. But yeah, so it kind of led me to think of one that I need to read, which is question number 5, so hang on. Question number 4 is, what is the most embarrassing classic you haven't read yet? One of them is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. This is only embarrassing like when if it comes up, like, to admit that I haven't read it, because it just like is something I've always wanted to read. It's so short and I've started it. I'm here. And I just haven't read it. The next one, oh, I forgot to go grab it. Okay, quick. Okay, quick. Hold on. I'm back. Okay. Is A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. I have a really cool edition where you can see like his original writing on one side. And I have almost finished it. I am here, and the only reason I haven't finished it is because I got it for Christmas and I wanted to read it on Christmas Day, and Christmas Day finished and I didn't finish it, and I said to myself I cannot read this book except on Christmas Day, so now I have to wait until this Christmas to finish it, and I just really want to have read it. Okay, it's just, okay, I just really wanted to. It's kind of embarrassing that I haven't, just because it's so short and I literally have 3/4 of the way through, almost. Okay, top 5 classics that you need to read soon. Whew, okay. First one that I've been wanting to read for a really long time is On the Road by Jack Kerouac. I honestly am kind of ashamed. The only reason I haven't is because I want the specific edition of it that I haven't been able to find, and it's that like Penguins Classics, that's like the orange blocks and the white block in the middle. It just says like the title, and I just think that is perfect, and I just only want to read it from that edition, and it's trash, but yeah. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I own literally 2 editions of it, and I started reading it and I haven't, and I just really want to, because it just seems like something I would really love. It's got like that Victorian time romance, some ghosts, some creepiness, some gothic Victorian that I just love, and I think I'm gonna really like it, and I just want to read it. I'm running out of time. Next is 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I hope I pronounced that well, but yeah, that one's like I think it's a magical realism, which I really want to get into. The next one is The Turn of the Screw, which I'm definitely going to read this fall. It's like super creepy, and I really want to read it this October. And then the next one is The Little Mermaid by the Brothers Grimm. So that's the fairy tale that I thought of that I really think I'll like, that I want to read. Question number 6 is favorite modern version of a classic, and I don't read a lot of retellings in book form, so I decided to kind of twist this question since I didn't have an answer for it. I wanted to say something, so I decided to say a movie, and that movie would have to be 10 Things I Hate About You, which is like a retelling of The Taming of the Shrew, which is a Shakespeare play, and I absolutely love that film so much. It's so great. Heath Ledger and Julia Stiles, and it's just so good. Question number 7 is worst movie adaptation of a classic. I can only think of ones that I liked, so I changed this to best movie adaptation. The Great Gatsby, which is funny because I saw this movie before I read the book, and I loved the movie so much, and I still do. I will watch it over and over again. I think it's one of the best movies. It's gorgeous, it's cinematic, it's just breathtaking, and I love it. For some reason, the storyline just took me with it in the movie more than the book, which is really weird, but I think maybe that's why I didn't like the book so much, is because the movie was so good. I'm talking about like the newer one with Leo DiCaprio. Okay, I'm kind of out of time, but yeah, so that one, Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley. I will never read that book because even though I loved the movie, I could tell that I would die trying to read it as a book. And 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which in this case I did end up liking the book better, but the movie version is just cute. It was like a cartoon, and it's kind of older, it's not new, and it's not that good, but I just like it. And then last question is favorite editions of classics, and I really like the Everyman's Library editions. I only have one, and I actually got it from my library, and I told them I lost it and just paid for it because I just needed to keep it. I have never seen this in a bookstore. I don't know where the heck to get more. I looked them up online, and I think the Dracula one is dark red, and I really want it. Anyways, I'm totally out of time, so I really hope you guys enjoyed that, and me rushing through it was more entertaining than annoying. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again, my friends. Goodbye.